getting used to Mike Rayfeld in the weight room. It seems like from the outside that you adjusted well to everything.
Yeah, I think the adjustment has gone well so far. Going to a new school, you're kind of like a freshman again, so you kind of have to think on the floor again. I'm out there, I'm not at Bradley anymore doing the same drills I've done for 3 years around the same people with the same coaches. So it's a little more stress just because you're not as comfortable, but then it's also pretty exciting because you're in a place where there's a lot of great players and every day you're going to go out there and improve. So yeah, I think the adjustment has gone pretty well.
Are the rims a little more forgiving now that you have a C. Paul instead of a Bradley Brave uniform on?
Yeah, I would think so. I think when I played here last, they were pretty forgiving, so it was okay.
Tell us about how you got here. I know Drew Adams played a big part, but just your road to Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think now in college basketball, after every year, you do have to consider the transfer portal and where you're at, and I think there's a lot of evidence of that with thousands of players in the portal at a time. But when the year ended, I considered it, and I thought, the best move for me and kind of how my career path and how I wanted to go, entering the portal was probably the best option for me. And then knowing Coach Drew was here, I knew I had that connection as well. I mean, we are from the same hometown, played at the same high school, played AU for his dad. My trainer is one of his good friends. My dad is friends with him, so it just seemed right. And right when I hit the portal, I think he was one of the first people to contact me. So,
Coach Rayfeld picked you as monster of the summer in the weight room. When did you kind of develop that willingness to compete, not only on the basketball floor, but also in the dark in the weight room?
I credit a lot of that to my high school and where I went, moving to the South. I had a knee injury in 8th grade, and after that, I really started to hit the weight room, and I noticed that it really does have an effect on the court. I was able to start dunking, so that was pretty cool because if you look at my family, you'd be like, there's no way he's going to turn out that athletic. But I started taking it serious in high school, and it kind of transitioned to Bradley with Eddie Pappas as the strength coach there. He really had that hard work, grit mindset as well, so that just furthered my development in that path. And then Mike Rayfeld is along that line as well, so it was a good fit.
Have you felt that continuity and the kind of the ability to transition in the program a little bit more seamlessly with how many guys have been retained over the past couple of years?
Yeah, like Coach Miller mentioned earlier, being one of the guys at Bradley who was the example of being there for 3 years with new guys coming in, it definitely does make a difference. Being able to stand on the side and watch somebody do the drill or kind of provide an example of the concept, so then you have like real visual examples of how to apply it, and not just being thrown into the fire having really no idea what you're doing. So having those 6 guys return and having such high-level players who are returning to give you that example has really been helpful.
Give us a little insight into this behind the scenes, what this group was like as an outsider coming in. The word has been everybody is very welcoming. How were you kind of embraced, maybe especially since they did even get a chance to recently play with you before you got here?
Yeah, I mean, having played here, yeah, right. Having played here was pretty funny because then you have some relatable stories about things that happened on the court and such, and then also getting to talk trash to some of the guys like, oh, I scored on you now, and I get to score on you in practice now. So, just things of that nature. But yeah, very welcoming group. A lot of great guys. I think when you're wanting to build a winning program, I think character matters over talent, and I think Coach West with a lot of the returning guys scored on both fronts of that. So coming into the locker room, you have a lot of great guys who are very understanding of your situation, and then you have to be understanding of their situation and who they are. And I think if you have great character, the connection is just going to be seamless. So.
Who do you like the least, Bob?
C-Mouse.
You didn't come here to sit. Does it matter who starts on this team with the depth that you have?
I think when your goal is to win championships, you have to have people who are accepting of rules, right? You can only start 5 people, you can't start 15. So I think it doesn't matter. I think you guys saw it last year with the 6 guys they're bringing back. It's a lot of great talent, and with the freshmen and the transfers that have been brought in, it's a lot of great talent. And I think if you want to win, you have to have guys who are accepting of it's okay to be the 6th, 7th, 8th man. It's not always who starts the game; it's more about who finishes the game. So,
what do you feel like you've had to work on or tried to work on the most transitioning from Bradley to the Big 12?
Obviously, a lot greater athlete. It's the game. It's a little bit faster just with the better athletes out there. So definitely finishing around the rim. having to be more crafty in the lane, and then just my shot prep, getting my shot off faster with the longer athletes, more athletic closing out to me. So just being ready to shoot earlier.
Connor, talk about what you've seen from Jizzle James, Day Thomas there in the backcourt as long as yourself. Have you ever been a part of a backcourt duo or trio now with 40 to 44 inch verticals there within that group?
So at Bradley, I had the blessing to be a part of a backcourt with Duke Dean, who's still one of my best friends. He's 5'7", but I have seen him do a windmill before. I don't know how much his vert is, but it's been close. But I've been a part of many great backcourts over my time playing basketball. But with them, it's been a little different with guys who can jump 44 inches, are extremely fast, and pick you up full court every day in practice. So coming here, I knew what they were, obviously having played them, but I knew also they were going to help my game tremendously in terms of developing.
Connor, I think I saw somewhere where you're at 40 inches on the vertical, right?
Yeah.
Right. Was that something that you at Bradley you probably like in the high 30s, or is it something that you've been kind of constantly baseline in the 40s?
I don't think I've ever been in the 40s before. I think the training here that Mike Rayfeld does is very, I've done some similar things, but I haven't done things where it just makes sense. Like a lot of stuff he does is very smart, and I've always been able to jump fairly high, but I think being here, it's really ramped up.
Have you caught anybody by surprise by your athleticism, maybe at the rim?
Pretty much everyone. Well, I dunked on everyone, but I'm saying a lot of people didn't know I could jump like that coming here, and it's not very expected. I'm 6'2" white with a comb over, so. But that works in my benefit though. But a couple of practices ago, I don't want to put Rayvon on blast. He did find out though.
Like pump fake in the three.
No, it was 1-2 steps down the lane on Ray. Yeah.
Right.
So Ray said he's got a bounty on my head right now in practice. He's coming for me.
Have you got to see much yet?
Huh?
Have you got to see much yet?
No, not yet. That's the one I want the most on.
Would you consider having comb over on the back of your jersey?
Comb over on the back of my jersey? I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Coach West mentioned the young talent with Tyler Betsy and Tyler McKinley. What has been your impression with those two? No Tyler's out.
First off, I'm devastated for Tyler McKinley. Just having a knee injury, especially when you're a freshman, and he was doing so well. He was a great guy, but also great on the court. I mean, he's one of the hardest working players I've seen on the court. Extremely great motor. And then with Tyler Betsy, he's quiet, but he might be one of the funniest people I've ever met. But my first impression of him was I didn't know who he was. I mean, I've heard of him, but I didn't know he could shoot the ball like he can. And he's an excellent shooter, great off the catch, and he's really developing his game off the dribble as well. I mean, in the next couple of years, he's going to be a major problem, and he's probably going to be a problem this year as well.
Anything else?